René Magritte doesn't offer clarity, he offers intrigue. And in that mystery, his brilliance remains eternally untouchable. Welcome to Icons of History, where we dive deep into the past to uncover the stories of the individuals who shaped our world. From great leaders to visionaries who changed the course of humanity, here we bring you the tales of the icons who left an indelible mark on the pages of history. René Magritte was no ordinary artist. He painted dreams, not the whimsical, fleeting kind, but the ones that gnaw at the edges of your reality, stirring questions you never thought to ask. Even if you don't know his name, you know his images. The faceless men in bowler hats, the pipes that aren't pipes, the apples floating in midair. Magritte's work, at once playful and cerebral, unravels the threads of logic and challenges us to rethink the boundaries of what can be seen, understood, or believed. Today we explore the life, work, and legacy of René Magritte, the man who painted the impossible and invited us all to look closer. Born on November 21, 1898, in the small town of Les Sines, Belgium, René François Guillain Magritte was the eldest of three boys in a family marked by tragedy and turmoil. His father, Leopold, was a tailor, and his mother, Regina, worked as a milliner, a modest upbringing far removed from the glamorous art circles of Paris or New York. Yet their ordinary existence was shattered by an unimaginable event when Magritte was just 13. His mother committed suicide by drowning herself in the River Sambre. The image of her body, reportedly pulled from the water with her dress obscuring her face, haunted Magritte for the rest of his life. Some scholars suggest this traumatic moment found its way into his later work, especially in his fascination with veiled faces and hidden identities. Magritte's early artistic endeavors were far from the surreal masterpieces we associate with him today. In fact, his first foray into art was rather conventional. He studied at the Académie Royale des Beaux-Arts in Brussels, where he focused on drawing and decorative arts. He even dabbled in commercial work, designing posters and advertisements to make ends meet. These jobs may have been practical, but they also sharpened Magritte's skills in visual communication, skills that would become crucial in his later career, where clarity and playfulness danced alongside cryptic puzzles. Magritte's artistic awakening came in the early 1920s when he stumbled upon Giorgio de Chirico's painting, The Song of Love. With its eerie juxtaposition of unrelated objects, a disembodied glove, a Greek bust, and an industrial building bathed in twilight, de Chirico's work sparked something radical in Magritte's imagination. The Italian painter's ability to merge the mundane with the mysterious mirrored the aspirations already brewing within Magritte. From that moment, his art began to shift. Surrealism, still in its infancy as a movement, provided a fertile ground for experimentation. By 1926, Magritte was painting surrealist works full-time. One of his first major pieces, The Lost Jockey, introduced us to his world, a theatrical stage filled with enigmatic forms disconnected from real-world logic. A year later, in 1927, he completed The Menaced Assassin, a composition balanced between suspense and absurdity. The painting is set in a room draped with curtains, where an indifferent man listens to music while a murdered woman's body lies nearby. Outside, shadowy figures stand frozen in an almost cinematic frame. Violence, stillness, and symbols collide without offering answers. One of Magritte's sharpest artistic tools was the use of clever, often contradictory titles. In his 1929 painting, The Treachery of Images, he shows us a pipe, simple, unassuming, rendered with photographic precision. Below the pipe, the words, "Ceci n'est pas une pipe," this is not a pipe, challenge everything our eyes believe. The juxtaposition between image and text forces us to confront the principles of representation itself. Is an image of a pipe the same as a pipe? Of course not. Magritte reminds us that what we see is not necessarily what we know, and what we know might not always align with reality. Despite his growing reputation, Magritte's life wasn't all philosophical musings or quiet moments in front of the easel. In the late 1920s, he moved to Paris, where he joined the Surrealist circle led by André Breton. Yet tensions soon emerged. Magritte's approach to Surrealism was more pragmatic than his peers. While others indulged in automatic writing or dreamlike stream-of-consciousness styles, Magritte focused on clean lines and crisp compositions. His art relied on paradox, but paradox delivered with precision. His clashes with Breton eventually led him to return to Belgium, where he remained for most of his life. Magritte's work from the 1930s and beyond displays a richness that goes beyond mere cleverness. Paintings like The Lovers, 1928, where two figures kiss with their faces obscured by cloth, evoke a haunting kind of intimacy. Contradictions became more profound in pieces like Time Transfixed, 1938, where a locomotive bursts out of a fireplace in a bourgeois parlor. Impossibility becomes normal. The surreal becomes unsettlingly relatable. Another iconic motif emerged, the bowler-hatted man. In The Son of Man, 1946, Magritte painted a self-portrait wherein his face is obscured by a floating green apple. This figure, anonymous, properly dressed, and enigmatic, appears repeatedly throughout his body of work. Interpretations vary, but many argue that Magritte's bowler hats nod to the ordinariness of middle-class life, masking the extraordinary mysteries of the subconscious. World War II brought disruption to Magritte's life and work. Belgium was occupied, and the horrors of reality seeped into his perception of art. Surprisingly, Magritte responded not with despair, but with humor, what he described as his sunshine period. Paintings such as The Pleasure Principle, 1937, with cheerful colors and bright tones, clash with the grim backdrop of war. Although brief and controversial, this playful interlude represents Magritte's resilience and ability to defy expectation. By the 1950s, Magritte had cemented his place as one of Surrealism's titans. His paintings became quieter, yet more distilled in their symbolism, focusing often on visual riddles that seemingly lacked resolution. His popularity soared alongside the rise of pop art and conceptual movements in the 1960s, as modern audiences latched onto his pictorial wit and philosophical depth. Magritte's ability to merge humor with existential complexity resonated in an era grappling with new understandings of consumerism, media, and identity. When Magritte passed away in 1967 from pancreatic cancer, his legacy was far from complete. His paintings had infiltrated popular culture, inspiring filmmakers, advertisers, and artists across generations. From Terry Gilliam's animations for Monty Python to H.R. Giger's alien aesthetics, Magritte's fingerprints are everywhere. His works have graced album covers, movie posters, and even the visual vocabulary of luxury brands. And yet, his influence transcends imagery alone. What Magritte truly gifted the world was a way of thinking, a reminder to question what is accepted, to probe deeper into the fabric of reality, and to revel in the wonder of the inexplicable. Today, René Magritte lives on, not just through his iconic paintings displayed in the world's finest museums, but through the enduring power of his questions. What lies beyond the visible? What emerges when opposites collide? It is fitting that his art, so preoccupied with facelessness and hidden meanings, leaves us grappling with the man behind the canvas. René Magritte doesn't offer clarity, he offers intrigue. And in that mystery, his brilliance remains eternally untouchable. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time with icons of history. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. See you next time as we explore more icons who made history.